Committee and the Minister responsible for Food and Agriculture, Honorable Dr. Owusu Efri Akoto, joins us this morning to share with the Ghanaian people where we stand on food adequacy, distribution, and marketing, and what the outlook for the future is. Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, please, the podium is yours. Food.
Deputy Ministers of State, Directors from Ministry of Food and Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen of the media. 3 weeks ago, after His Excellency the President announced restriction of movement of people in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was here on this platform to assure the nation of availability of food and that there was no need for panic buying. We've gone through 3 weeks of partial lockdown in Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi. We are aware of the challenges occurred which disrupted the food distribution system in some markets. Now that the partial lockdown has been lifted by the President, I'm here to reassure the public that there's adequate food in the country and the distribution and marketing of items will resume uninterrupted. Also, I'm here to brief you on the activity under the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign for 2020 to ensure food security in the current year and into 2021 and beyond. In view of observing social distancing, district assemblies will continue to monitor the markets to ensure adherence to COVID-19 protocols in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. At this point, I want to acknowledge the efforts made by our farmers and all actors in the agricultural value chain for their cooperation and contribution in ensuring supply of food during the lockdown period and beyond. Our flagship program, PFJ, is in its 4th year of implementation, and the distribution of subsidized seeds, inputs, seeds and fertilizers to all parts of the country is ongoing. Similarly, the other modules of Planting for Food and Jobs, PAID, Planting for Export, Rural Development, Preparing for Food and Jobs, the Greenhouse Villages, and agricultural mechanization are also all being pursued relentlessly. Our efforts to meet production targets and food needs for 2020 production season remain on course. Of course, you know that the rains have started. We saw it at some of its worst in Accra yesterday in the streets where they were all flooding in some parts. And so is the situation in the forest belt. So farmers are very busy clearing and preparing to plant or already planting their crops. Our efforts to meet production targets and food needs for 2020 production season remains on course. With the sound support of the Ministry of Finance and our development partners led by IFA, International Fund for Agricultural Development, through our GASIP project at this ministry. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the COVID-19 pandemic provides a golden opportunity for Ghana to optimize our potential for food production, to meet domestic needs, grow our agricultural exports, and create jobs for the youth of this country. In the wake of export ban in countries from where we import some of our food items like rice and poultry, it provides a compelling situation for us to put strategic measures in place to ramp up production for all our key commodities. It also gives us the opportunity to intensify agro-processing, thus reducing post-harvest losses and ensure all year-round food availability whilst creating the needed jobs. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has engaged with several stakeholders, including input distributors. We're talking in particular about fertilizer distributors and improved seed distributors. Also with importers of food items. We're talking to rice importers, poultry importers, the MMDAs, the Ghana Commodity Exchange, and our development partners craft remedial measures for immediate response to COVID-19, and also design post-COVID interventions. Some of the immediate actions include market surveillance, where market prices and food availability on the markets are monitored closely, the PPEs for extension agents, development of guidelines for production, public education through video and print media, facilitating in distribution, and so on. Medium-term actions include facilitating access to credit for producers, aggregators, processors, and supporting the buffer stock company of the ministry to mop up strategic stock of food security, re-establish early warning systems to provide regular update on food production, and the establishment of COVID-19 support for agriculture and food security. We are beginning to receive support and cooperation from our stakeholders to implement our plans to combat the pandemic. Our development partners have indicated their commitment to support our plans by restructuring ongoing programs to respond to emergency or provide new funding where possible. And in this regard, I will commend IFA for listening to our urgent request for funding, additional funding, which they are making available to us in the next week or so, immediately, of something like $20 million, and the subsequent consideration of our request for $90 million, which is to be considered down the line. We are beginning to receive support. On Monday, 20th April, that's 4 days ago, the ministry received a presentation of PPEs and cash donation of 10,000 Ghana cedis from AGRA, mobilized from its country staff. The cash is to serve as seed money for the COVID-19 support for agriculture and food security. This is a gesture worth emulating. We also want to acknowledge the support of Global Affairs Canada for refurbishing 3 biocontainment laboratories, which are now being used for testing coronavirus samples. Friends of the media, we wish to reiterate the commitment of the government and the President of the Republic in prosecuting the transformation agenda. This Canada will remain resolute in our conviction that agriculture is key in contributing to sustainable economic growth of our country. The result of the initiatives introduced by the government since 2017 are evident. We will continue to intensify our efforts and urge all well-meaning Ghanaians to come on board. Offer me the opportunity to assess the field situation as we begin the planting season. I plan to visit 10 regions in the southern part of the country, starting from the first week of May this year. We intend to monitor at first hand the program of distribution of improved seeds and fertilizers and how our extension services are benefiting the farmers of this country. I wish to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister, thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have heard the Honorable Minister. It's crucial that we recognize that food security and food adequacy is critical for us during these trying moments and even post-COVID-19. Currently, the markets are a major part of the food marketing and distribution chain, and it's gratifying to note that the Honorable Minister has said that they are working with the Ministry for Local Government and Rural Development and district, municipal and metropolitan assemblies to continue to organize markets in a way such as to observe social distancing. We have also been assured that because of Planting for Food and Jobs, which is in its 4th year of implementation, even though there is a ban on exports from some of the countries which we import some of our products, such as rice and so on and so forth, we are mobilizing and have mobilized to ramp up production so that even now and in the days ahead, in the months and years to come, we shall continue to be assured of food sufficiency. Even as combat COVID-19, we are told that the stronger your immune system is, the better it is and the higher your chances at winning the war, even in the absence of any vaccines or a cure. And food is a critical part in the discussion to building a robust immune system. So, Honorable Minister, what you do at the ministry is very relevant even in these trying months, and we welcome your assurances. You have also dealt with the panic buying that we witnessed in the early days when especially the partial restrictions, lockdown was announced. It is reassuring. So there is no need for us to want to engage in panic buying. The assurance is that there is enough food for everybody, and so let us buy at the moment what we can use, because we do not envisage any shortages in the near future. So thank you very much for those assuring comments. We also are aware that essentially from the private sector led by AGRA, a support scheme for agriculture and food security have been established. Our gratitude to AGRA and we encourage others. In fact, we do understand that there is another group here, the Ghana Chamber of Agribusiness, that also intends to contribute to this support scheme, and we shall take them in due course. But allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Good People for the Akim Suedro and Deputy Minister, Honorable Kennedy Osenyako is here with us. The Honorable Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture and MP for the Good People of New Edubiasi, Honorable George Odro is here. Technical Director to the Honorable Minister of Greek, Mr. Asante Krobia. The Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab is also with us. Chief, you're welcomed. And we have the Director of Monitoring and Evaluation from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Honorable Madam Angela Dawson. Madam, I foresee in the future you may be going into Parliament. Or you may even be, right now you are an elected assembly member or government appointee, and I may not even be too wrong to characterize you as such. Thank you very much all for coming. We shall now questions if there are any, and also because of social distancing, you are aware that several of our colleagues are monitoring, and from the platform we shall also take some questions. I see my colleague from CTFM, I recognize you, please take the podium, and please all take the podium whilst observing social distancing. We'll do it quickly so that we can get back to our very, very busy schedules. If you introduce your name and your questions, please.
Good morning, my name is Kojajman. I work with City News. 2 questions. We want the minister to give us details of the tons of rice we have in buffer stock, maize and all that. And if the 19 takes us on the long haul, what is the food security plan for the country? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, your question, please. Colleague from CTFM wants some details on what we have in the stores at the moment and what the plan going for this.
Yeah, my name is Maxwell Abu. I work for Joy FM, Joy News. My question is, I want to find out what the strategy really is to deal with the possible food, excess food that we may possibly have, in some villages. I know there's a challenge with our storage facilities. I want to find out from the minister whether there's any strategy to deal with the excess production of food that we may also have at this, at this point. And then my second question also is, during the partial lockdown, we witnessed that there were price hikes as a result of the panic buying. He talked about monitoring the prices of foodstuff in the market. But I want to find out, going forward, what is the plan to deal with possible hike in price of foodstuff? Thank you.
Are there any other questions from Azua within the hall? Otherwise, we'll allow the Honorable Minister to respond to those questions, and then we can go to the platform later. Honorable Minister, I invite you. I know that we are operating a free market economy where the market forces determine price and so on and so forth. But the last question seeks to suggest that even that space, what can be done to guard against price hikes and so on. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. I think both questions related to food security. Jermaine, CTFL, is asking for details of tons of rice in buffer warehouses and what are the plans for food security. The question about food security has become very, very important to all of us because of what we saw in the few days before the lockdown and the instant hike in prices and people falling over themselves in the markets to get stocks to their homes. And I did say a few days after the lockdown here that there was no need for it. We have plenty of food. In fact, the success of Planting for Food and Jobs has been so almost instant that the problem that we are facing in this country since last year, since 2018, has been how do we manage the stress? Because on farm, the Ghanaian farmer has proven beyond doubt that with the right support from government, they will deliver. And they are delivering. They are delivering to the extent that has caught us a little bit unawares in providing not only for needs, but surpluses which are increasing every year in the 3 years being the experience. There have been two outlets for this. One has been the substantial increase in exports to our neighboring countries. Ghana has suddenly become a food basket. Well, we are sending 19 food items to a lot of our West African neighbors. As far as northern Nigeria, Niger, even Mali, Burkina Faso, Togo, and of course Cote d'Ivoire. 19 food items and the volumes are increasing. That's only one outlet. It's not enough. The central issue is to do with agro-processing. We have to have the capacity to be able to process the surplus, not only to prolong the life of the harvest, but also to add value and generate more jobs down the value chain. That is the strategy. Unfortunately, in Ghana, if you look at various food items, the increase in growth in the last three years has been such that